welcome back to our show. I'm sure you are as much intrigued as I about the life of this woman, no? I mean to say, she's telling us in words, but I'm sure it is so much more profound what she's really experiencing, only that she cannot say everything in words. But before we continue with our gift in tin, I'm sure because of that kind of person you are, you have a certain way of looking at life, no? Can you share with us how you see life?
Life is...
What's your philosophy of life?
I guess first things first, that's most important for me, is that it's about time people to realize that there's a big difference between being religious and being spiritual.
That's it.
Okay. I don't, it's not unfortunate or fortunate, but okay, people in the Philippines will be forced into something, being a Catholic, because usually they will be baptized as Catholic, right? Okay, there are people who are like, every day of their life will go to the church and, you know, do the rosary, do the novena and everything. I guess that is really religious.
Religiosity.
Okay, as far as I'm concerned, not because you are religious, you're spiritual.
No, definitely not.
Okay, so like for me, I am not religious, but I am really spiritual. So like, I can communicate with them. I don't care. You want to call them whatever you want to call them. You can call them God. You can call them Allah. You can call them Buddha. I don't care. But for me, they're just there. If I communicate with them, they will communicate back. So,
but for you, it's plural. It's like they are always saying they. No.
I prefer calling them the forces. The force. So they're just there.
And for you, it's not kind of visual.
No.
It's just there. It's like
there. Yeah, I know it's there.
But you can discern what they want you to know.
Yes. And sometimes, like, sister, it goes to a point that, okay, I'm proud to say I've helped a lot of people. However, they have the power to tell me, back off.
Really? Oh.
So... like, it's your choice, okay. I can tell you what will happen. That's definite. But it will always be your choice. So every choice you make, what will happen will change. And
because you are the one to act, the person.
Correct. So like usually, so some people think, so you're a fortune teller. No, I'm not. I'm not a fortune teller. But one thing I can tell you straight, you do something now, I know what will happen because of what you did today.
Yeah, that is the gift.
Yeah,
no?
so if people will say, like, sometimes people will come to me, Christine, Tin, I have a problem. Oh, what's your problem? So they will say the problem. And then if I'm in the mood, like, I will say, if you do A, this will happen. If you do B, this will happen. If you do C, this will happen. So take your pick.
It's up to you.
Not my problem. Right? So it's just there. So honestly, I don't really believe in fortune tellers. I know I cannot swear. It's a BS, you know. So, because everything will change based on the decision made by the person at that stage.
Okay.
But it's just there. So if you tell me, fine, but okay, watch out on this. And I don't like controlling people. Like, I can enlighten people, sister. So through prayers. By the way, my prayer is not the prayer that I think a lot of people know. Like, if I need to enlighten someone, I can do that with the help of them. But I will not in any way change the way a person thinks. But we can. But it will not end up good, because at the end of the day, okay, maybe this is worth sharing. So some people will say, Tin, change his mind, right? If they want some result. Right? And this happens several times. And I will always say, let's put it this way. I'm not going to change his or her mind, but I will enlighten her or him. And through the enlightenment,
he can act.
Things will be better, the way the person will perceive things. Because, sister, I think you will agree, it's all about perception. Like, look, to share to all the viewers, why not try to perceive things differently? Okay, the problem with humans is that the way you perceive things is based on how you were brought up.
Of course.
How the environment influenced you, right? That those are the two, okay, and maybe education, right? So the question is there really free choice?
Or are you like conditioned to do that?
That's it. Okay, so what am I trying to say here? Sometimes you have to ask, is it really a free choice? Or the way you are deciding is based on the condition you were brought up? And that's why you are so limited with your perception. Look, people out there, I would advise that it is good that you get out of your comfort zone. And that is the only way that you can see life
in different way.
Yeah. And don't lock yourself in that, because
in a
you
box.
are in a box. Let's put it this way, there's more things outside the box.
Yes.
And that's what I always say, people. Okay, hey, don't get me wrong, sister. I do believe in education. Obviously, I do. However, the truth of the matter is, university, high school, or whatever will only teach you the four walls of your classroom. And the reality is, different world once you get out.
Yes.
And you know what? Those parents, like I'm sure a lot of parents are watching this show, right?
Yes.
I would advise that let your kids see the real world as early as possible, not the four corners of the classroom. Because, you know, what hurt me most is that, like, there are intelligent kids I see. Really intelligent. Magna cum laude, summa cum laude, what laude you want to know. Yeah, right? At the end of the day, when they get out, they fail.
Yeah.
Not only fail, this is the most ironic part.
Yeah.
They do things that, and the reasoning, but I never experienced that. And it's like even my batchmate, I mean, people in my own batch, right? Like, there were people that, whoa, okay, because in my batch in high school, if there is something that I really got is that I'm the first gold medalist in the history of St. Paul's. So I'm really a mathematician, but I know it's so hard to explain. But the people, other people that, wow, like, whenever I talk to them, when I communicated with them now, the difference is we didn't experience this. So it's really all about perception. And always remember one thing, life is so simple, don't make it complicated.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
I always believe on the 90-10 rule of life.
Okay, what is the 90-10?
90-10 is 10% of your life is what's going around you.
Yes.
Your kids, your spouse, your partner, your work, everything. Yes. Only 10.
What is the 90%?
90% is how you will react to it.
Yeah. So what is happening?
Correct. And how will you react will be dependent on how you perceive things.
Okay.
So
I see that.
Maybe I'm weird, but
no, it's not. I mean, it's the reality, no? I mean, because, you know, actually what you're saying is what quantum physics is saying.
Obviously, I'm a mathematician.
Yeah, di ba? I mean, according to quantum physics, as I understand it, things are not black and white. They are actually gray, and they're what they call a spectrum of possibilities.
Spectrum of possibilities.
Isn't
I love it. Yeah.
And that's why you, as an observer or as an actor, can actually change things.
Correct.
Isn't it?
Yes.
And that is what maybe is not perceived by many people, that they think everything is ganyan, so they cannot change anything.
Correct.
But actually we can, di ba? I think that's what you are saying.
Yes.
Just change your perception, and in your change of your perception, you see other possibilities which you did not see before.
Correct.
And that's why you can fulfill, or you can achieve something that you couldn't achieve before.
Yeah.
Because you know, Tintin, my experience too is that every time I have a project, everything comes to place. People,
correct.
Di ba? The people I need will be there, the money will be there.
Yep.
Like the hospital, no?
Yes.
And I think it's because, really, as you said, it's the way you perceive things. I believe so much in this project that I think it's going to be real. And then, as you said, the forces of the universe
Yes.
will align themselves.
Correct.
Diba?
And that's another tip.
Oo.
The forces of the universe work is actually to fulfill whatever you are thinking and whatever you want.
Yes.
But don't confuse them. That's another problem of a human beings, right? The problem, okay, so like even my husband is teasing me, Baba, I don't want to wake up one of these days and I saw a green man beside me. But he is used to it already, which is good. But you're correct, sister. Like, the forces will work based on how strong you believe on something that you want.
Yeah, I get that.
Totally. But if you're half-baked, they will not actually work.
Yeah.
Because like, hey, do you really like it or not? They don't know what to do.
Yes, but if you believe that this thing has to happen, then they will let it happen.
It will happen.
Yeah.
But it's how strong that you are. Okay, not even ask. They will know that the sincerity inside you, your will, they will feel that you don't even have to ask.
Yeah.
Like, sister, about asking. I don't ask. When I pray, I don't ask. Actually, the only thing I always say is thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay.
Even if it is not yet happening, thank you.
Oh, because you know it will happen.
Because I know it will happen. So, I guess that's... And look, sister, it's so... I want to thank you because I think this is one method to teach other people what it is to really live a life worth living for.
Yes.
A lot of people are not actually living a life worth living for because they're missing 70% of
because
the real.
They're like how do you call that? They self-limit, no?
Correct.
They limit themselves.
Yes.
And therefore, if you limit yourself, then you are just there.
Correct.
Whereas if you change your boundaries, then you are there, isn't
Exactly.
it? But you are really making me understand, because sometimes I say to myself, how come when I had that project, how come everything came in place? I had no money, and then all of a sudden the money is there, and all of a sudden... And I was thinking, why is that? No, and now I am understanding why.
It's actually the.
But isn't that beautiful
essence.
if life is like that?
Correct.
Then there are so many things that you can do, even for people, no?
And sister, another thing that maybe I like to share.
Okay.
It is not about happiness. I don't really believe in happiness. And maybe this is something I really want to share to everybody.
Yeah, so what is it?
You know what, guys? Start looking for peace. It's not happiness. Why? You cannot be happy every moment of your life.
Of course not, yeah.
Okay? And no matter what you say, there will be a sad event in your life. But what is peace? Okay, when you get peace, or when peace is inside you, regardless what's in front of you, whether a disaster happened or you're happy, peace is there. It's constant. Happiness can never be constant. Even sadness can never be constant.
Because there's a cause. There's something that made you sad, something that happy.
But peace, it's just there.
Yes.
So you are in the calmness, right? It's in the mid. Even if that's why, sister, whenever I say, how are you, Christine? Still alive and kicking. That's always my answer. Even in Australia, I never answer, I'm good.
I'm fine.
I am fine. Never. My answer is always still alive and kicking. And it doesn't matter whether I'm happy or sad. No, it doesn't matter. Because
maybe the word contentment is also a kind of description of that peace that you're talking about.
Actually, sir, you can, you relate. You can relate it. But I guess at the ultimate is that, like, when you are in peace, or like, whether you are getting what you want or not, that is your mid. That it's okay. Everything is okay if you have peace, even if.
So it's like a state of being.
Correct. That's it. State of being is peace, not happiness.
Yes, because happiness, there is a cause to it.
Correct.
And then if that cause is not there, then you're not happy anymore.
Correct.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
Whereas if you are saying peace, and
it's there.
It's always there.
Yeah, moment. By the moment.
Yeah, whether you are experiencing so-called negative things or positive things, it's always there because it's a state of being.
It's a state of being.
Wow, how profound. Diba? No, but I think that is it. I think your gift, much more than just, seeing forces and all that. I think you have the great gift of seeing what existence is all about, what being is all about, no? And sometimes I get what you're saying from people who they said had a near-death experience.
Yep.
You know,
Actually, sister, I almost died 3 times already, but I think the forces want me to stay. So, no.
Really, because of that.
Yeah, I mean...
So now that, because we might... How do you see this situation in the Philippines?
Oh, well,
with
very
this
interesting.
kind of this sharp perception, how would you characterize what is happening now?
Well, okay, let's put it this way. I guess it's same with amazing is if you just go back a little. In the same year, 3 things happened all at the same time, which is a bit freaky. The BRICS exit, the President of the Philippines, and the President of the United States. All in the same year.
Yeah, how come?
Right?
What phenomenon is that?
Correct. The problem is, a lot of the humans in general, they want change. Look, the only constant in the world is change. We all know that.
It's always changing.
Right.
Now.
However, I just hope that everyone out there will now be ready. The question is, are you really ready on the change that will happen? And do you think, will you be happy with the change that will happen?
That is the question.
Correct. So, people, the problem, what happened is that the mental state of the human being at that time became united, that they want a change. So like the BRICS exit, the Philippines, right? Or the US, right? But they never tried to consider that, okay, what
kind of change do you want?
What exactly do you want? So, and remember what I said a while ago, the problem is once there is a will or that courage that we want something, the force will work into it to make it happen. And that is what's happening right now. Like even the climate change. Like, are you not noticing that there's so much things happening, that the earthquake, all
almost
of this.
every month, yes.
Correct. It's not anymore normal.
No.
And by the way, don't tell me that climate change is not true. Although there's a joke, like my friends in Australia, sometimes they will have a party. They will call me, hey, Christine, do us a favor. What? Can you make sure it won't rain? Okay, fine. So start off, okay, please don't rain because the party, like that. The reality is, all of this, it's sad that humans technically regret, things that are so important. And sister, I never pity. Pity is bad, okay? But I feel for the generation after us. Because it is not anymore a life similar to our life.
Of course.
Now, going back to the Philippines, okay, it's like the reality is about your president. He has, actually, it's like this. He has a goal.
Okay.
Right? Maybe a good goal to remove all drugs or what. The question is, for you to reach the goal, you need to have a means to reach the goal. And at the end of the day, every person in the world, it's either the means justify the ends or the ends justify the means. It's the journey. It's how you travel to reach the end.
That is important.
Yes. And that is where the dilemma is. But the method, the means, I think, how about refining it a little, doing some analysis on it? Because it will not help. Look, it has been featured in Australia, where I live now. My God, you just don't kill people, even a kid. And that's a wrong means to. You don't justify the end by doing that is the issue. And if you will ask me, there's a lot of things that are being missed, right? It's not just about the drugs, right? Okay, maybe there are already improvement, but I want to believe that we can do more. Like I was teasing a lot of like my friends, like Mr. Colaiko at that time. Sir, I'll run I'll run president. I'll be the president of the Philippines. And actually, they were saying, Christine, that will be a chaos if you. The first thing I'll do is to remove all the people who are corrupt. You know, for me, it's a joke. But at the end of the day, sister, I love the Philippines. I was born in the Philippines, and I really want to see a better
Philippines.
It's just that. Just reminder, it's not about the end. It's about the journey to reach the end.
I reflect on it also. How can you fight crime by committing crime?
Correct.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you say that these drug addicts are going against the law. And so therefore you want, and because they are going against the law, they are harming people, isn't it?
Correct.
So that is the logic. So what do? What you do is you also go against the law by killing them. So then you're just like them. So how do you change the whole?
Like for me, sister, like a good point. But let's put it this way: like, why go the little fish? Why don't you go to the real source? I mean, you want to cut it. Then you do the core of it, the source of it, not the little ones who are trying to distribute it or what. Go to the source. There's a source.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand, because they said that they are convinced that 40% of the police are corrupt to the core, and they are the ones that are what do you call that, protecting. So why don't you control this 40%, take them out of the course, and discipline them and immobilize them?
Correct. Yeah.
Because if you allow them to continue, then all these people will continue too.
Correct.
But what you are doing is you are taking away this one, but this one is still there.
Yeah, no, and sir, sister, common sense also. If you hit the core, the one who are actually bringing in the drugs and everything. If not, there's nothing in to distribute. These people will not distribute anything anyway.
Exactly. What will they distribute?
Correct. But the problem is, if you start killing those who are distributing, the source will still distribute and get other people to distribute. So it's like a
vicious cycle.
Yeah, vicious cycle.
Yeah. And believe it or not, our second segment is finished.
Oh.
But anyway, I think you have said a lot of very profound things, Tintin, and I think you really have to thank God for your gift. You say that sometimes it's kind of burdensome to you, but in the last analysis, well, it's not everybody was that gift, hindi ba? And I know, because I have known you for some time, that you really are using it for the good of people.
Yeah.
So I'm really blessed that I know you.
Oh, sister, I'm blessed to know you. We are, you know, there are things that are the same. I mean, you and me, and that's why I know there's always a reason for everything.
Yes,
I guess it's just that the way we were put together is through the event of June. That is, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I thank you so much, and I hope that our audience, by listening to us, maybe could have a little click of change in the way they perceive things. And as you said, even that little thing of change of perception can actually affect their whole life, isn't it?
Yes.
No?
It's a single step.
Single step. And even as if imperceptible, but if it is there, then it's going to change your life, isn't it?
Yes.
So thanks again.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have profited a bit from our conversation. Good night and God bless.